running. I like this time of the day because I like the lighting and the shadows. So I like coming on here. Hold on, I'm going to make some room. Yeah, I'm southwest bound on 75 if anybody's looking. Let's see what this guy does. So I am heading home. I have to move over to go off duty, and this is my beloved Laredo run. How come when I want scenery, I get trucks in front of me? Bleh. Anyway, let him get away for a while. I had a noon pickup today. It was supposed to be 2 pallets, and it turned into 1. And I actually got out of there before 10 o'clock. Because now I'm blasting. This is my one more Laredo run, but it just so happens that this Laredo run goes through home. So I'm going to go home, be home around 11 o'clock tonight. Spend the night, spend half a Sunday, and then I'm going to drive down to Laredo and drop this one off. Let's see if anybody wants to come in here. Awful quiet out there. Oh, I got one. I am southbound on Interstate 75 in Tennessee, and I like the shadows while the sun's coming up. That's why I do this. I slept south of Knoxville, and they're gone. I'll start over again here in a minute. All right. Oh, I got one. I am southbound on Interstate 75 in Tennessee. I spent the night just south of Knoxville last night, and I don't know if a tornado went over or what, but it rained extremely hard for about 10 minutes and shook the Pewatt out of the van when it was going by, and I keep my windows cracked open. And a little bit of rain came in, but it was whipping like a tornado went over. So if anybody knows what happened last night south of Knoxville, let me know, because that was nasty. So I had a noon pickup today, and I showed up at 9 o'clock, because 99 times out of 100 when you show up early for a pickup, it's ready. And there was a little confusion, but they got me a big old pallet, and the destination from the town of Maryville, which again, south of Knoxville, is Laredo. And it just so happens that a Laredo weekend run, my favorite, goes through Houston. So what I'm doing right now is going home, and I'll be there about 11 o'clock tonight, and I will spend the rest of the night, and then I will pack up and head over probably super early Monday morning to go make my drop in Laredo. And if you've never been to Laredo, you're not missing anything. It is an industrial town. It is a warehouse, shipping and receiving area, and it's nothing but traffic, heavy trucks. I have been in traffic in Laredo, surrounded by 18-wheelers, 360 degrees, and I don't know if I'm 50 feet from a traffic light or 2 miles, because you can't see anything. You're encapsulated. So the whole area of Laredo is just one great big shipping area, incoming and outgoing. It's its own beast. It's not difficult to get a load going to Laredo. It's just impossible to get one coming out. And if you ever end up in that area and you look around, go to any truck stop down there will be 35 or 40 vans parked, and all waiting on a load to come out of there, and loads don't come out of there. It's very rare, and when you do get it, you're going to be paid chicken feed because there's so much competition. So it's kind of a weird thing. Me, I go to Laredo, I drop, and I turn around and leave. I just deadhead home. I don't even waste my time, because I did one time hang out, and I was down there 4 days, and nothing happened, and I turned around and left. So this is Interstate 75 showing southwest bound. I am 45 miles from my next turn, which is Highway 24 going towards, where is it going towards? Chattanooga, I think. I think is the key phrase here. But ultimately, I'm going to be going to Laredo for Monday. That's what's going on. And why I call this stream Politicking. I drive along here. I listen to YouTube. I listen to podcasts and stuff. And what's going on up in Alberta right now is kind of interesting to me. I don't really have a big grasp of Canadian politics. I'm not Canadian. I haven't been up there since I was 14. But apparently what's going on from the bits and pieces I'm catching on the news is Canada is broken into provinces: Saskatchewan, British Columbia, Ottawa, whatever. And not unlike states here, I think they call them provinces up there. And Alberta is the one that's paying all the bills. They have the third or the fourth largest reserve of oil and gas in the world. And it's basically off the back of Alberta that's propping up everybody else. And the government is taking that money to pay themselves and to prop themselves up. They always talk about the people out east, which is Ottawa. The government's backstroking off their revenues, and then the people in Alberta aren't benefiting from it very much, and the government is turning around and taxing them, and heavy regulations and carbon taxes, and really not doing anything for their benefit but taking from them. And this has been going on for a while now, and I think they're getting tired of it being exploited by the East that doesn't pay any attention to them. They just their attention is limited to taking stuff from them, and I think they're getting tired of it. So there's this thing popping up where they're talking about breaking away and becoming their own independent country. Of course, Ottawa doesn't want that. They want the status quo, which is normal. When somebody's benefiting from something, they don't want anything to change. That's perfectly normal. And I'm hearing a lot about it, and then you're going to hear people say, oh, that's not going to happen, or that can't happen. Well, there was a time they said Trump couldn't get elected president. There was a time when they said Great Britain wasn't going to exit the European Union. So we're in a time of big changes that are happening. So Ottawa's trying to get it on the referendum. You have to get, I think, 10% of the population has to sign it and give signatures to put it on the ballot. It doesn't mean it's going to pass. It just have to put it on the ballot. And I think they're there already. And so Alberta is going to have one of three options. They can leave it the way it is and let things that they're not real happy about continue, or they can go independent, or they can join. They've literally talked about joining the United States, which traditionally, when countries declare their independence, they don't jump ship, they go independent, and then later on they join some other thing. Texas was its own country for a while before it joined the United States. California actually had been an independent country for, I think, a month, and then they joined the United States. So there's steps to it, and everybody has their 2 cents. What do you think Alberta should do? I think Alberta should do what's best for Alberta. That's pretty much my opinion. Do what's best for them. Let everybody else do what they want to do. Do what's best for them. If becoming an independent country is their best option, go for it. If joining us and becoming almost like a territory of the United States, which would be very beneficial to them because they wouldn't get taxed to death and regulated to death, and they would be able to attach themselves to a powerful system, I think would work to their benefit. But that's their choice to do. But this is coming up on the news, and it's coming up more and more, and it's getting louder, and that's why I've been paying attention to it. And of course, the Ottawa government jumps up and down, and they don't want anything to change. They want it just the way it is because they benefit from it, and they're calling it treasonous. Well, there's some legal scholars that have dug around within the rules. I don't know what they call it up there, their Constitution, the Canadian Constitution. But they dig around the rules and regulations, and they go, let's see what it says, and that's not in there. It's not a treasonous act to declare your independence from the country, even though, of course, they're going to yell that. So I think this is going to be interesting how this plays out long term. And once the thing is, once that ball starts rolling, other people are going to jump on board. And I just saw another little segment came on, and it was not only does Alberta want to pack up, there's the Northwest Territories aren't real happy, and they are physically attached to Alberta. So technically, if Alberta wants to go, Northwest might go, hey, you know what? Not a bad plan. And technically, that puts a direct link between the United States and the mainland. The United States and Alaska is now physically attached, which itself would be interesting for anybody who wants to travel up there. But it gives other countries, other parts of Canada, the right to do kind of what they're thinking, what they want to do. And that's just the politics up there. Their current system is a little, let's call it un-American. I guess it works for them, but on the other hand, the voting power is all in the East, so the East Coast people vote for what benefits themselves out there, and the heck with the rest of you. And that's kind of what's going on. But that just was on my mind today. Is Canada if you're bored, go on here and look up Alberta, just Canadian independence movements, and just kind of look at that and get their opinions on not some guy living in Ottumwa, Iowa. It's the Canadians. Listen to what the Canadians have to say about it. And it's kind of interesting, and we are living in an interesting time to watch this kind of stuff happening. I'm old enough that I watched East Germany disappear. That was kind of funny. I got to watch Yugoslavia break up into smaller countries. I was watching all that happen. So there are changes. And I think a new wave of changes is coming along. People are, I guess, we're programmed to be nice. And I think there's a point when you've had enough. And I think maybe. Again, never paid that much attention to what's going on up there, but I think at this point, Alberta's at that point where they said, you know what, this is enough of this. We're getting tired of the government, doing what benefits them, and to heck with everybody else. And they live with, the government officials have that paycheck that's going to come in no matter what happens because it's tax money. All right, I've faded out on my people here. I'll let you guys go, but that's just what I was thinking about today.